And welcome to Speak for Yourself. Marcellus, Wiley, Emmanuel Acho, we're back.
It's good to see you, Sal.
It's good to see you back in this country, man. How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm surprised. We actually talked over the break.
We did. We're getting there.
You responded to my text.
Oh, look at you. Pandemic is almost over. Let's get started with the Olympics. Oh, man, with Simone Biles. She will compete in Tuesday's balance beam final. This follows her previously withdrawing from the all-around competition and three-event finals. Biles says she was experiencing the twisties, which is known as a phenomenon when gymnasts feel they get lost in the air. She previously added that her, quote, mind and body are simply not in sync. So, Acho, what's your reaction to Simone Biles' 2020 Olympics?
There's so many layers, Sal. So many layers. You and I texted about some of them, and I know. How much time do we have?
Dang.
I will start by saying this. Proud of Simone for realizing that being a gymnast is what she does. It's not who she is. Let me start there. Remember, she came out and said, the outpouring of love I received made me realize I'm more than my accomplishments and more than a gymnast, which I never truly realized before. Claps. Simone, I clap for you on that. I'm proud of Simone Biles for not putting herself in jeopardy. Snaps. I'll snap for you on that. Where I'm torn is this. Nobody won in the Simone Biles situation. Simone Biles did not win. Her mental health did not win. Her teammates did not win. Her sponsors did not win. The endorsers did not win. Now, as it pertains to her mental health, we mitigated some of the damage, but let's make no mistake, it did not win. Because an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure in mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, or physical health. So as a result, what are the preventative measures that could have been taken place so we wouldn't have gotten to this situation in the first place?
Yes.
We live in such a tiptoe society where to try to make someone better is to assume you're condemning or chastising that person. Sal, I've recently realized we'd rather be comforted by a lie than learn the truth.
Okay.
So let's talk about the truth. Because if it's our job as a society to help get the most out of each and every individual, then it's our job as a society to support Simone Biles as much as possible and help her get as much out of herself as possible. So what does that look like? It looks like preventatively taking care of your mental health so you do not put yourself, your mental health, or your team in jeopardy. What's preventatively taking care of your mental health look like? Oh, let's talk to a gold medalist at this year's Tokyo Olympics. Because a gold medalist from Italy who won the 100-meter dash, he said, this is Lamont Jacobs, the first thing my mental health coach told me was that if I wanted to run faster, I had to begin a relationship with my father, a relationship that I never had. And that was a difficult path for me because I had not met him, known him, or talked to him in many years. Reconnecting with him, it gave me the desire, the speed. It was something that helped me more to win a gold medal. See, that is what being proactive and precautionary looks like. Because Lamont Jacobs, now a gold medalist, the fastest man in the world as of yesterday, he proactively and preventatively said, you know what? Let me tend to my mental health. Let me try to forge a relationship with my father, which I do not have.
Man.
So my goal and my reaction to all of this is a bigger hope, not just for Simone Biles, but for all athletes, because we have to start to be proactive with our mental health. I remind you all, we mitigated the damage of Simone Biles' mental health in regards to the fact that there was already some damage. You saw how she did, and you said she had you saw what she said, she had the twisties. There was already some damage. All we did was mitigate the damage. We didn't prevent it all. My goal for Simone Biles is to prevent any damage in the future going forward so she can maximize her potential, so the fans can maximize the opportunity to watch her, so her sponsors can maximize her dollars, and so their teammates and her teammates can maximize their winning opportunity.
As always, I learn. As always, I'm educated. As always, I'm entertained. And as always, I got to give my take before we get into our take because we get nuanced. We do like the layers here. My reaction, let me clean this up because I have 3 daughters. My reaction, let me clean this up because I am a former pro athlete. It's interesting that in this world today, this PC culture, you know, I like PC world. I hate it, actually. PC stands for please coddle. Don't really give it to me raw. Don't give it to me real because who wants the most out of me? Who wants the best for me? Really, that answer is yourself. So as I always quote Mark Twain, is life is a competition between you and yourself. Simone lost perspective with that conversation with herself. As you said, prehab. Let's talk about how in this world there's freedom of choice, but not freedom of consequence. So what's happening is we're losing a little of the balance, that balancing act that's necessary for you to optimize who you are. I give it to you like this. It's a seesaw effect. So if you're in a situation where you want none of the blame, none of the criticism, then don't do anything, right? Because criticism is the cost of praise. So in this seesaw effect, the more you do, the more it's going to come in terms of people criticizing you. I want Simone to understand this, because I think where this got turned and twisted was she really focused in on her mental health and the burden of expectation. No one ever wants to talk about the comfort of expectation. I want to talk about the comfort of expectation, because when you are at the top, no matter what that is, I don't care who you are, people always say, oh man, it's so tough because you're supposed to win. And inside you, when you know you're the one, when you know you're great, you know what you hear? I should win because I'm better than them. So what we're losing in balance in this conversation is the burden is getting talked about with a microphone, but the comfort is not. I'm not going to talk to Simone Biles' mental health. I'm going to let her do that. But I am going to listen. I'm not going to talk to it, but I'm going to listen to what she said. And I want to sum it all up by what I heard by she quit. I'm going to absolutely say she quit. Damn right she quit. And she knows she quit. Truth is simple. Lies are complex. These are a lot of complex responses to something that's simple. You quit. And it's okay. Because guess what? I give it to you like this. I have told a lie before, but I'm not a liar. I've never been characterized as a liar. You quit on one thing, but doesn't mean you're a quitter. And I want her to understand it's okay. In that moment, she decided that she didn't feel that she was ready to do whatever task that was asked. But that's why we're highly paid performing artists called professional athletes, whatever you want to call it, Olympian as well. That means at 1 o'clock, I don't give a damn what's going on. Traffic, so what? Kids didn't sleep, so what? Wife is tripping, who cares? You have a task to do. If you're not up to that, quit. But please call it like it is. Just say that. But now there's this golden parachute. CEOs use it all the time. And now it's hit professional athletics where I can't just fall. I got to cushion my fall. And they take it to other places where I don't want to challenge it, but I do want to hear it. And when I hear it, I don't hear something that was foreign to me. Dude, you know how many times I was out of sync? You know how many times my opponent made me out of sync? You know how many times you have to fight through that wall to get to the next level, whether it's in success or failure, but you have to go through it. But if you're not up for that task, it's okay. Raise your hand. I quit. You're not a quitter, but you're not up for that moment.
So I actually started the week after Simone Biles first made her decision on your side, as far as saying she quit.
She did.
But then I started thinking, Sel, and I was like, okay, if someone had to leave a game with a concussion, I wouldn't call them a quitter. I was like, if somebody had to leave a game with an ACL injury, I wouldn't call them a quitter.
Yes.
So I was like, you know what, Simone, I'm not going to say that you're a quitter, or no, I'm not that. I'm not going to say that you quit.
Okay.
Because you're not a quitter even if you do quit. I'm not going to say that you quit, but I will assess, did you do everything in your power preventatively to keep you from being in this position? It's so easy for us sitting at home to say, well, they still got a silver medal. Some of my closest friends are gold medalists in the Olympics, 2016, Rio, etc. If you are the favorite, winning a silver medal is not an accomplishment. If y'all haven't been watching track and field, turn it on. The 100-meter dash women's, Jamaica Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, she was the favorite. Went into that race faster than everybody in the field. She got a silver medal. She was sick after.
You saw that?
She was not pleased. Now, for us sitting at home that have no cognizance, no nearness to the Olympics, a silver medal is, oh my God, a silver medal.
Yeah.
But to somebody that's the favorite, a silver medal ain't nothing. So now, going back to the Simone situation, because so many people, Sel, have said that, man, Simone doesn't owe anybody anything. I have to push back on that.
Okay, let's go.
Because, Sel, if I were to go with you to New York City, not during COVID, and we were to buy a ticket to go watch Hamilton, and the lead of Hamilton came out on stage and performed the opening song, but then by the second song was like, you know what? I can't do this for a very justified reason. Somebody owe me something because I paid for a ticket to be entertained. And this entertainer did not entertain me. Yeah. Athletes, football players, basketball players, tennis players, gymnasts, we're entertainers. And so if you're an entertainer, you owe somebody something. Simone Biles don't owe me nothing. And she likely don't owe you nothing. But she does owe her sponsors. She does owe her teammates. She does likely to some degree owe the networks that are sponsoring and putting on the Olympics. So I also just have to caution everybody of, yes, there is something that is owed. She is the greatest gymnast ever. And notice I did not differentiate by sex. I said she's the greatest ever. It don't matter who, it don't matter what. But that does not mean you're immune to still being responsible for things that arise.
Yeah. You know why this gets lost? Because the audience is foreign to the experience. If you're not a professional athlete, entertainer, performer, where there is a kickoff, there is a start time, you have to be there. You have to do it. If you're not in that scope with those expectations and it's based on you doing your best in those moments, I don't give a damn how many great practices you had. I don't care how you look on film. It's about this moment, 1 o'clock right now, are you going to perform? If not, you get judged properly. Here's the thing that is tearing me up about this is the fact that when you look at her and you hear her, we are allowing athletes now to mentally diagnose their mental injuries. Well, we don't allow athletes to physically diagnose their physical injuries. Remember the days when Acho was like, hey, coach, hey, here. And then he says, okay, you tell me that, and you tell this trainer, doctor, that same thing. And we'll assess this. But now an athlete can just get on their phone. First of all, why are you on your phone if you got issues of being in sync with your mind and your body? The last thing you should do is go to a place that is not in sync with reality, which is social media, and display all that you're feeling. But we allow athletes now to mentally diagnose themselves, but we don't allow them to physically diagnose themselves. That's something you need to push back on. Simone Biles, the brand, does owe people something. Simone Biles, the person, doesn't owe a damn person a damn thing. If you don't want to perform, don't perform. But once you sign on to perform, and especially in a team aspect, let me give it to you like this. Imagine Usain Bolt shows up to the Olympics, looks around. I'm out of sync, y'all. Can't do it today. Y'all go out there and go get it. Oh, and they get silver. And he's at the finish line first, cheering them on. Do you understand what would happen in reaction and criticism? And that's not gender-based. It's just giving you a different example of like, you're not ready now, and you've been ready when? And you've been ready before, and you're the greatest? Oh, we got a problem right here, because you got to look at this like her teammates are. And I heard her teammates. Watch interviews of her teammates. When Simone was struggling, we was like, it's okay. Focus. Get back into it. Get your groove back. Get your mojo. They were saying things of encouragement. She couldn't get back to that place. That's okay. But Simone Biles, the brand, does owe people things because she's a performer. We are paid. We are compensated. We are given platform to perform. If not, you don't like those job responsibilities? There's always work at the post office. Because I know too many people in the real world who are sitting there like, you can't go up to that moment and then say, I don't want that moment, and get the rewards of that, but then be selective with your sacrifices.
And let's also preface with this, because you've said a lot of times, I want to drive the point home. It's not even necessarily a question of toughness.
No.
Like, ain't nobody questioning toughness. Let's make that abundantly clear. Simone Biles, exactly. Like, Simone Biles is one of the toughest and has proven herself to be one of the toughest athletes. For me, it's a question of timing. Because everybody brings up, well, Michael Jordan, he took a break. Megatron, Calvin Johnson, he retired at 30. Rob Gronkowski, he took a break. Yes, but remember the timing. See, Michael Jordan, he retired before a season. Calvin Johnson retired at the end of a season. Rob Gronkowski retired at the end of a season. When you pull out before a season or before a game, your team can prepare and plan accordingly. But we've always questioned and chastised athletes who pull out intra-competition.
Okay, here we go.
Brandon Brooks, all-pro guard for the Philadelphia Eagles, right guard. Before, I believe it was a Seattle Seahawks game, he had anxiety issues. He pulled out. I came up on this show and applauded for the man. Kudos to him, because he did something before the game. Now we can plan accordingly. But Vontae Davis, as you know and as we've discussed, Buffalo Bills cornerback, he retired at halftime. Don't take my words. Take his teammate, team captain at the time, Lorenzo Alexander, who goes on postgame and says he quit on it. He quit on us. It was disrespecting his entire team.
Yeah.
Timing is everything. I have no issue at all with the individual who facing mental health issues is like, hey, I need a beat. The greatest athletes of all time have needed breaks, from Jordan to Calvin to Barry Sanders to Gronk. The greatest ever have needed breaks. But when you don't properly calculate when you need the break, you now put your team at a disadvantage. And in team sports and team competition, it's all about giving your team the greatest advantage possible.
Yeah. Look, I don't understand this. I don't know why people get all bent backwards over this and their feathers ruffled. You can quit. I wanted to quit football when I was young, really young, for bad reasons. Thank God I had guidance and my father was there. It's like, you always finish what you start. And if you do that at the end of the season, we'll talk about you not returning. Thank God my dad was there. Thank God that was the conversation I had. I'm not Simone Biles. She's way up there. I'm here. Okay, but it's still the same principle. So let's not use this as an example of talking about she's a quitter. She quit, and it's okay to say it. She was in a place where she said, I don't want to finish a task that I signed up to do. Sounds like the very literal definition of quitting and task. Here's the thing I got a problem with too, brother. This wasn't an acute injury. So therefore, we're going to look at it differently. I give it to you in an example story form. If Acho comes up to me right now, we playing against each other, and then, bow, somebody hit you so hard, they like, man, Acho MRI, his X-ray, and then Acho's like, you know what? I don't want that. It's understood. But if Acho's the same performer, all of a sudden has a wear and tear injury, just the burden of carrying Acho's name, and then he's like, I don't feel like performing anymore. We're going to have a different level of criticism for that person because we're like, what was your breaking point? Where is your breaking point? Is this your breaking point? And you signed on to a team element that's going to make us look at it differently. Poor teammates, because they can't even say it. They're boxed in. I'm getting texts from people in Tokyo on TV, on network saying, Marcellus, keep saying what you're saying because we can't say this. But the truth is, we all know what quitting looks like. You know how many times we didn't want to go out there and do that next practice, that next hell week practice, that next double day, that next game, et cetera, et cetera. But that's why you're a performer. That's why you're a highly paid professional athlete. If not, there are other jobs where you can hide at the job. You can hide your work, but not a professional athlete. You can't be exalted and then not execute. Like, it just doesn't work that way. And that's what I don't like. But the society right now is allowing this and allowing her to be a hero. That's when I'm like, whoa, I am not teaching anyone that it's okay to sign up for something. Stop that and then say, it's my mental health. Please explain why it's your mental health. Please explain why you couldn't finish the task. If you say, well, I was going to compromise myself more and everything. Okay, applause. You quit. It's okay. Move on. I just think the negative connotation, the stigma that comes from not only mental health, but the stigma that comes from I quit a task doesn't have to get exaggerated. Dude, if I could walk out of here right now, Acho, I'm like, look, my words weren't coming out the way I wanted to say them. What y'all gonna say? Oh, Marcellus, it was mental health day. No, Marcellus just quit the show for that moment. I may come back. I may not have an opportunity to come back. That's how this game goes. But the point is, why can't we label stuff the way it is and just accept it? It's okay.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Oh, you don't want me to leave? You don't want me to leave?
No, because your take is what I'm not going to.
Okay.
Because you're not wrong. You're not wrong. The problem, again, it goes back to me. The thesis statement of a lot of my take is this: we'd rather be comforted by a lie than have to acknowledge and live with the truth. I'll just say that. But my final thought is this. As a society, we applaud ourselves for being able to grow, being able to learn, and being able to evolve. Based on Simone Biles in this situation, I would encourage every athlete, grow, learn, and evolve from it. Remember, Sha'Carri Richardson, prior to the Olympics, during the Olympic trials, she said, people don't understand what it's like to have to go in front of the world with the pain and with what I'm dealing with. Naomi Osaka, she said on Instagram, I'm not a natural public speaker, and I get waves of anxiety before I have to deal with the world's media. Simone Biles, she said, I truly do feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. Athletes, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Let's learn from Sha'Carri. Let's learn from Naomi. Let's learn from Simone. And let's all preventatively and proactively tend to our mental health because our mental health is serious.
Yeah, as you've said before, and I echo it, man. What you do is not who you are. It's a shame that these athletes really have wrapped their identity a little too tightly around their performance. I'm separating the performance from the performer. I'm not attacking the person. I'm attacking the performance or lack thereof, which is a part of the game that we all signed up to play. It's okay. I was listening to Outkast this morning. Andre 3000, beyond someone who has inspired me. You think you got it, but got it, just don't get it, because you think you got it, but got it, just don't get it. I want you to understand, Simone, whatever you're going through, what got you here is going to get you there. As you said, add to it, enhance it, grow. But you don't have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Not as a burden, as a support, because all those eyes are on you because they believe in you, because they've seen you achieve. Won't you flip that, discern that for what it properly is, and maybe things will be better. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers is back from Green Bay, but we'll tell you who actually won the standoff between him and the Packers. But first, bad news in Indy, Carson Wentz. Your boy Acho having surgery on his foot. Your boy Acho will tell you how concerned the coach should be. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
Now, Colts head coach Frank Reich says Carson Wentz will have surgery today on his injured foot and will be sidelined between 5 and 12 weeks. This follows news from over the weekend that Wentz was going to rest his foot rather than have surgery. Reich said second-year quarterback Jacob Eason will get first-team reps with Wentz out. Uh-oh, problem in Indy. So, Sel, how concerning is this breaking news for the Colts?
Very concerning. If you're a Colts fan, part of the Colts organization, it couldn't be any worse. And I know some people are like, yes, it could. He could be out for the entire year. No, I think that would actually be better than him missing up to 12 weeks we hear right now in these reports. Let me tell you why. This is worse than being out the entire year. If he was out the entire year, he'd get the red shirt. You out the entire year, your shoulders go from this. Man, dang, I was going to show him this year to I'm going to show him again next year. But this one is truly going to be damaging. Why? Because it really is his body and his mind is going to be out of sync. As Simone Biles was talking about, Carson Wentz is going to actually live through that as well. In terms of there's a calendar, there's a schedule, there are reps, they're going to be prescribed, there are going to be opportunities, and you're not going to participate in those. Why does it matter to Carson Wentz? Because Carson Wentz is trying to get some good film out there. Carson Wentz is trying to get his mojo back. Carson Wentz is trying to get the doubt birds to fly away. But the problem is when you now are off schedule, and it's not a new system, but newish because it is Frank Reich on a different team. When you're Carson Wentz, you wanted the snowball to start. You wanted to get the first good taste and then just keep them going and keep them growing. But now you're in a position where you can't even start that momentum. Now, you fast forward, it's November 1st. Where's the team? Is the team in contention and we really don't need you? Is the team out of contention or struggling and they're like, come save the day? Greater expectations for a guy whose last time he was on the football field wasn't looking too good. All of this adds up to a horrible recipe for Carson Wentz to go back out there and now have to deal with another injury. I remind y'all of his injury history in Carson Wentz. Full screen time. Oh, my man. I don't know what you did in your prior life, brother, but it's not pretty because you are living through it right now. I was injury prone, but this is next level. Concussion, back injury, ACL, LCL, rib, wrist. And now you could throw in the next. Here's the problem with him. How do you get all of that behind you? You know it, Acho. There's only one way, to put something good in front of you. But right now he has to wait up to 3 months to get that good taste. And that's why this is very concerning.
When I see that injury full screen, I just see toughness.
You see toughness?
That's all I see.
Brazilian.
Colts fans, you have no reason to worry. You have no reason to worry that Carson Wentz is hurt. And it's because of this. The Colts needed a quarterback to get them over the hump, not to get them to the hump.
Oh, we're going here.
You feel me?
I do.
Without Carson Wentz, the Colts are still going to get to the hump. They just needed a quarterback to get him over the hump. Phillip Rivers got him to the hump, 11-5 playoff, but they needed a quarterback, 2 minutes left against your Buffalo Bills, to get them over the hump. Phillip Rivers got him there, playing about as well as Baker Mayfield. 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 68% completion percentage. None of that was world beating. So you can have a quarterback get you to the hump. Where you need Carson Wentz is when he will arrive to take you over the hump. Colts, 10th best defense in points, 8th best defense in yards, 2nd best defense as far as turnovers per game. So your defense is still stout. Your defense will still keep you at about 5-3, maybe 6-2 through 8 weeks of the season. By the time Carson Wentz comes back, if it is at the high side and he ends up missing 12 weeks, y'all sitting at the hump. That's fine. You didn't need him to get you to the hump. Your defense was going to get you there. Jonathan Taylor, probably the best sophomore running back, was going to get you there. Matt Eberflus was going to get you there. What you needed was someone to get you over that. You need Carson Wentz come December. You need Carson Wentz come January, come playoff time. You don't necessarily need him in September and October. It would be nice. Paying him millions of dollars, it would be nice. Yeah. But ultimately, you need him to get you over the hump. By yourself, you can get to the hump. They will be fine.
So, I mean, good take, but you trying to tell me that Carson Wentz is not the one to get you to the hump, but get you over the hump. Step up, I'm doing the hump. Rest in peace, Shock. That's what you're saying about Carson Wentz. He's the over the hump guy, right?
Yes, sir.
With 1/4 of playoff football under his belt, with not only 1/4, what was he, 3 for 8? Like, Mr. 3 for 8 is going to be the guy that gets us over the hump. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He has no qualifications to even talk about a hump. He can get you to a because when he was, 11-2 and was going to win the MVP, he can't even get to the hump. He can't even get to the P. So, over the hump, I have not seen that out of Carson Wentz. I've seen more injuries than completions from Carson Wentz, especially when it comes to playoff football. So that's not necessarily accurate. What's worse, let me really beat up your take. I heard Nick Foles may be the quarterback that they're looking for in the open market to bring in.
It would make sense.
It makes too much sense. And that's the problem. Here we go again. Carson Wentz, already, I've been injury prone. Trust me, brother. You're like, the next injury is going to be my last. And then it's going to happen again. And then it's going to happen again. Your mind is playing tricks on you. Carson Wentz was eager to go out there and play this year, week 1. All of a sudden, no week 1 for him. No week 10 for him, maybe. And then you're going to bring in the savior again. I just left Philly and saw a statue. That's still up. I'm gone. Now I show up here. Forget the statue. He's here in physical body. Oh, this is all bad if you're a Colts fan. Good luck to y'all. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers says he's 100% all in. But we'll tell you if he or the Packers won their offseason standoff. Who won? That's next on Speak for Yourself. Aaron Rodgers is, quote, 100% all in with the Packers after months of doubt about his future. Rodgers aired out his issues with the team last week, expressing his desire for a bigger say in personnel decisions. Reigning MVP also got a reworked deal, which reportedly voided the final year in 2023, with no franchise tags allowed in the future. So, Acho, who won the standoff? Aaron Rodgers or the Packers?
Aaron Rodgers won, big dog.
No, he's part of the question, but who won? You gonna say that? That's your answer?
Yes, because, if you are playing a game of chicken, what is the objective of the game of chicken? The objective of the game of chicken is to get the other person to move. They ain't got to move all the way to another state, another country, another continent, another nation. They just got to move. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers were playing a game of chicken. They were both honking. And they moved. Who moved? The Packers moved. Oh. They may not have moved a ton, but in this game of chicken, they moved. How did they move? Aaron Rodgers, the 3 years remaining on his deal turns into 2 years remaining on his deal. But fans, I will break this down for you. It's truly just 1 year. Because at the end of this season, Aaron Rodgers will have 1 year left on his deal. What the Packers will not do is let Aaron Rodgers play out that year and hit free agency and get nothing for Aaron Rodgers. So what they will do at the end of this year is say, dang, we're going to have to trade Aaron Rodgers to at least give us an opportunity to get something back for him because he's not going to re-sign. So truly, Aaron Rodgers signed a 1 year deal. Now, beyond that, how did Aaron Rodgers win this game of chicken versus the Green Bay Packers? Forever, Packers management has been too stubborn to re-sign notable players. They think that the Packers franchise is greater than the players that make up the Packers franchise. But now Aaron Rodgers, he said, y'all let too many veterans that could have helped this team out go. Charles Woodson, he said he wanted to come back and he would have taken a pay cut. Y'all let him go. Jordy Nelson, he said he wanted to come back and would have taken a pay cut. Y'all let him go. I understand Jordy Nelson did not ball where he went, but imagine if I were throwing him the football, that would have meant more. So what has Aaron Rodgers done now? He got himself Randall Cobb, a receiver that was balling when he was playing with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Okay, Acho, it's just Randall Cobb. What's the big deal? He's probably going to get cut by the Texans anyway. Remember that 4th and 8 that the Packers didn't go for and ultimately cost them the NFC Championship game? Before there was 4th and 8 sell, there was 1st down. And on 1st down, Aaron Rodgers ran an RPO, a run-pass option. He threw the ball to Allen Lazard in the slot, the same slot that Randall Cobb will be in. Allen Lazard ducks as the football come nears him, whereas Randall Cobb probably would have caught a touchdown pass. What you and I, what layman's fans don't necessarily realize is, what's Randall Cobb going to do? That's not a big deal. Randall Cobb would make a play like that to take them to the Super Bowl. Management may not recognize it. You may not recognize it. I may not recognize it, but you want to know who does recognize it? Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers won the standoff.
Aaron Rodgers did not win this standoff. Oh, my God. Who moved off their stance? Aaron Rodgers. You keep talking about who moves, like in a physical place. Okay, you can say the Green Bay Packers, we're going to get rid of you at the last year. That's voided. Okay, we won't franchise tag you. Respect. But where are you? Physically, where are you? Right here, Aaron Rodgers. In your game of chicken, don't forget this game of chicken was based on this sentence, this term. I want to play for a different team or retire. Is Aaron Rodgers on a different team? Is Aaron Rodgers retired? Well, then, damn, who's the chicken? Because it's Aaron Rodgers wearing the Green Bay Packers uniform. Yes, sir. Boy, I'm tired, boss. Up in there throwing passes like he was going to throw passes, as I told you all off season. I said he's going to be there week 1. Where is he going to be? Week 1. There. I hate when people start off with an initial stance that is grander than what they end up with, but they still try to make what they end up with a win. Aaron, you didn't win. He doesn't even care. He's not proclaiming this. We're going to argue this. But Acho, Aaron Rodgers wanted to go. And he wanted someone fired that he wouldn't want to name. He didn't want to name someone he wanted gone. That person ain't gone because we don't even know what it is. And Aaron Rodgers is still wearing green. So where did he win? The end, I cut some of the fat off. At the end of your contract, that in the NFL, they cut off anyway because either they restructure you or they give you more money or you got to go. So tell me again, this chicken.
I got you,
how Aaron Rodgers won.
I got you. What Wayne say? I got us.
I got it.
So here is how he won. What I love about this show, Marcellus Wiley, is that you make me think. Every now and then, out your back pocket, you pull out your Columbia education and you catch me. And what you do is you make me come up with some sort of story, analogy, something to make better sense of my point. Aaron Rodgers knew what he wanted all along, but what he did was start with a grandiose ask to make what he received seem way lesser than. You know this by now, still. Every summer, not during COVID, I go to Nigeria on my medical mission trips. At the end of our trips in Nigeria, we go to open-air markets, typically to buy carved items, wooden carved crafts, handmade paintings, etc. Nice. And if you ever negotiate with somebody in one of these open-air markets, you may go and you may try to ask, sir, how much is this? 50,000 naira. They just start so high. 50,000 naira, mind you, it's only equivalent to like $50.
Oh,
50,000 naira. And you're like, wait a second. Ultimately, you end up landing at about 10,000 naira. Okay. Now, on face value, it looks like they took an L. Right. They started at 50. I got them all the way down to 10,000. Little do you know, it cost them 2,000 to make. Aaron Rodgers, grandiose ass. I want to get traded. I don't want to be here. I want to go somewhere else. I want to finish my career in a different uniform. But little do we know, maybe he just wanted that extra year off his deal. Maybe he just wanted a receiver that could help get him to the Super Bowl. So it looks like he took an L, but he was really just fooling us because he started with such a large-scale ask that when he landed at where he wanted to land, he was truly winning.
So let me get the negotiation straight. We're not in Nigeria. We're not going to do that, but we're going to go to Green Bay, wherever the hell.
Let's go there, sir.
Let's go. Hurry back, too. Okay. All right, so here's the terms right here. So Aaron Rodgers at the open air market, and he's saying, trade me. right? And then he says, oh, I'm going to retire, right? And he's like, fire whoever is upstairs that I'm not going to name. And they say, okay, we hear you. That's too much Naira. Okay, here we go. Here's Randall Cobb. And he's happy with Randall Cobb. He did all this for Randall Cobb. Boy, stop. You better go back to Nigeria and rethink that take. Coming up, speaking of Nigeria, Giannis is in the NBA champ right now. Damn, y'all taking over. But he does not care about being the face of the NBA. We have a lot to say about this. Next on Speak for Yourself. He could have went to Jeopardy, but he just got Randall Cobb. Giannis is fresh off his first NBA title and being named Finals MVP. The Greek Freak is on top of the world right now, but being the face of the NBA does not seem high on his list of priorities. Giannis said while in Greece, quote, I don't care about being the face of the NBA. KD or Harden can be. I want to be with my kids and my family. I want to win and enjoy the game. I want to be Giannis, the hard worker. Oh, damn, Acho. Bingo, man. What does this say about Giannis? Oh, we here. Kick your foot up. You ain't got no Giannis?
No, I ain't got no shoes on. Y'all don't judge me, okay? Feet ain't ashy, okay? They're just tired. I've been walking.
They were old.
It says that Giannis is a real one. But also it says that, I told you so, Giannis can't be the face of the NBA because he does not want to be the face of the NBA.
Oh.
People, listen. There's more to life than what meets the eyes. Why does Giannis not want to be the face of the NBA? Because that was never in Giannis's visions and plans as he was growing up. Giannis is not entrenched in the social media society where you gotta be a star, where you want to captivate the attention of everyone. That's how we be living life in these streets. That's how we do things right now, this younger generation in this American world. That's how we get down. Let me tweet, let me get likes, let me post this picture, let me post this reel, let me post this story. That's not what Giannis is about. That's not his background. That's not his upbringing. That's not how he gets down. Giannis follows 9 people on Instagram. Of the 9 he follows, 6 have the last name Antetokounmpo. The other 3 are business ventures. 10 million followers and he follows 9 people. Giannis does not move to the beat of the same drum that everybody else does. Giannis follows 6 people, if I'm not mistaken, on Twitter. 5 people have the last name Antetokounmpo. The other one is the late, great Kobe Bryant. Giannis is not out here trying to get busy like most people who grow up in the AAU circuit are. Giannis ain't worried about being the face of the league. Giannis is worried about holding and hoisting trophies. I done told you 2 weeks ago before we took our nice little break that Giannis wasn't going to be the face of the NBA. Now, I said he wasn't going to be the face of the NBA because he was foreign. Now, everybody who had the lazy narratives or the lazy ears only heard he can't be the face of the NBA because he's foreign. No, as someone who grew up with parents that are foreign, as someone who grew up with parents that are Nigerian, like Giannis's parents, I realize there's more to life that meets the eye. Giannis, as you brought it up the last time, he was selling CDs to make ends meet.
Open market.
Like
50,000 Naira.
50,000 Naira. Like Giannis wasn't out here trying to be an NBA superstar in his teens. And so now that Giannis is in his 26s, to make that make sense, he's still not worried about it. You take it over, Steph.
Look, I like you, and I like what you were saying, and it was pulling at my heartstrings, so I feel so bad about what I'm about to say.
And you're still gonna say it?
Hell yeah, you know me. I love people, but I love the truth more. So I gotta tell my truth, brother. Giannis is grandstanding up here. Damn near virtual signaling. Damn near. He that close. He like right there, virtue. Ooh. Let me talk about this guy right here.
Please.
You trying to tell me, Giannis, what did he say? I don't care about being the face of the NBA. KD Harden could be there. I want to be with my kids and my family.
Yes, sir.
I want to win and enjoy the game.
Yes, sir.
I want to be Giannis, the hard worker.
No doubt.
You don't see the virtue signaling. You don't see the grandstanding in that. LeBron is the face of the NBA right now. Is LeBron with his kids and family? Who? He got me beat, and I try to beat Mr. Family Man. LeBron is with his kids and family. Savannah would disagree with you, Giannis. You can be the face of the NBA and still be with your kids and family, right? So let's already separate. What are you really trying to say? Then he goes on and says, I want to win. LeBron hasn't won. He just won the one before you, bro. So LeBron, once again, comes into it and said, knock, knock, Giannis, what you talking about? Because so far the criteria is you could be the face of the NBA and be a husband, and be a father, and be a champion. Oh, there we get into the virtual signaling. I want to enjoy the game. I want to be the hard worker. So you want to have the exclusive title of being the hard worker, and no one else is working as hard as Giannis because he's the champion. Boy, stop. I know why you don't care, Giannis, about being the face of the NBA. Because you know damn well you won't be the face of the NBA. This is one of those things you're like, nah, I don't want that, dog. I ain't even tripping on her number. She thinks she too cute. Why you walk all the way over there and ask for a number then, fool? Giannis knows not to make that embarrassing walk of shame across the entire club to go up there. Can I be the face of the NBA? And LeBron sitting there, KD sitting there, whoever, Steph. They're like, man, go back over there. So instead of doing that, he's just going to sit from afar and say, I don't like what they over there drinking. I don't like what they're doing over there. Giannis, it's too simple. Yes, you want to be the face of the NBA because that means you're the best in the NBA in terms of overall popularity. Who wouldn't sign up for that? I know Giannis would.
Giannis wouldn't sell, and that's the difference. You trying to take your mind, your cerebellum, your brain, all the neurons, and put that into Giannis. He don't want it.
He don't want it?
He don't want it.
Why you don't?
Giannis is not virtue signaling. The only signal Giannis adheres to is the bat signal. That's the only one. Because he a real Batman. What Giannis is saying is,
no superpowers.
In theory, by 26, Giannis has won more than LeBron.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I get you that.
Why would Giannis want to, in theory, follow the path of someone he's actually won more than by the same age? To us, LeBron, at least to me, greatest basketball player of all time. Mm-hmm. But Giannis is looking like, wait, the person that y'all call the greatest, I have more finals than by the age of 26, more finals, I have more MVPs than, just as many, and I got me a chip by 26. By 26, if I am not mistaken, LeBron James was in the worst performance of his career in the finals against the Dallas Mavericks. Mm-hmm. So Giannis is like, the person who y'all proclaim king, I'm running faster than. I'm not going to follow LeBron's lane because maybe LeBron James, by being the face of the NBA, has cost himself a chip.
How?
In Giannis's mind.
How?
And how? Because we do not know what went into LeBron James in Miami when he went 2 for 4. Maybe he could have went 3 for 4. Maybe he could have went 4 for 4. We don't know all the distractions. We don't know.
Oh, so you trying to say
I'm gonna get 2. I'm gonna get 3. We don't know all of that.
So hold on. The kids and the family and the hard working ain't like, is that an additive? Is that a
being the face is an additive?
So you're trying to tell me first of all, I hate when people define criteria for themselves. They make their own definitions up. To be the face of the NBA, you can be single. You could be a married man. You can have kids. You can have no kids. It's how you want to define it because you dictate terms because you're the face of the NBA. LeBron, they didn't say, oh, wait a minute, you can't be the face of the NBA. Where's your wife? Where's your kids? How come you're not working?
But they say this. You know this. They say this.
Making this up.
To be the face of the NBA, we talked about this. Your face has to be seen. LeBron was doing GQ photo shoots, if I'm not mistaken, with Giselle. LeBron was doing on the cover of magazines. To do that takes time. Photo shoots, commercials that LeBron was doing, that the late Kobe Bryant was doing, all these things. I personally at least it hadn't hit my radar, a Giannis commercial that he went out of his way to shoot that some national magazine hasn't hit my radar. Maybe it's happened. Bucks fans, y'all let me know. I ain't seen Giannis on the cover of Vogue, on the cover of GQ, on the cover of Time, going out of his way for a photo shoot. I seen LeBron.
You ready?
We saw Jordan. We saw Kobe. But we ain't seen Giannis.
You know what? Giannis is the person that's like, I ain't doing all that. You know why? Because you can't do all that. Even though he earns $25 million in endorsements, 5th most in dollars off the court. So he trying, but he can't succeed like them dudes. 37th largest media market is where he is. And he's still 5th. So he putting in hella work to try and get up that ladder like he is. He's on social media. He's on Instagram. LeBron got what? 50 million? He got 10. He's on Twitter, LeBron got 50 million. He got 1.9. Like, look, Giannis is the dude that's trying so damn hard that he don't want to try no more because he realizes his limits. It's okay. Arto, you going to be gone? You got to take off?
Got to take off, big
All right, man. We're going to keep the show going. My boy got to go do some big things out there. Help Giannis get some more endorsements. Coming up, Dak Prescott says he'll be fine. But we'll tell you if the Cowboys should have concerns about his shoulder injury. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
Giannis, I'm on the way. I'm on the way.
Thursday on Fox, the NFL is back. Catch Big Ben and the Steelers as they battle Zeke and the Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game. All the action is on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Football time! Speaking of Dallas, Cowboys got a scare last week when Dak Prescott left practice with a right shoulder strain. Mike McCarthy said he would take a few days off from throwing. Jerry Jones said he's doing fine and would play today if they needed him. Dak gave his own update. Take a listen. Break it down.
It's not like, obviously, anything that the ankle was. And I know I'll be fine. I know I'm doing the treatment, just came from that, doing everything necessary to make sure that I'll be just fine. So I'm not worried about that, and it's not anything I worry about lingering or causing problems. So not even near the same aspect of the ankle deal and the time that I had to take from that.
Well, Acho had to go, so I'm bringing in Fox NFL analyst TJ Hushmanzada and Bucky Brooks. Where y'all at? There y'all go. All right, my dog. So, TJ, what's up, baby? Should the Cowboys have any concerns about Dak Prescott?
Yes and no. When you look at it, he's coming off that compound fracture. And so, when you have a major injury, you don't worry about anything but that injury. And so he didn't warm up enough, and his shoulder was a little tight. You and I both know, and Bucky as well. If you're out to practice, but you're not practicing, it's minor. It's very, very minor. And so I look at it from the perspective of, because he's coming off an injury where he missed the majority of the year, and we got to recall, when he missed a year, he had 300 more passing yards than anybody in the league. So am I concerned? Slightly. But it's his shoulder. It's a slight muscle injury. I'm not concerned overly at all.
No, I'm not concerned at all, not even slightly. These are first world problems. This is what happens when you get paid like TJ did. You know how it goes, TJ. They get super sensitive. They got to protect their investment. Dak, what happened? He's like, no, I got to sneeze. Oh, Dak, stay. They just look after every single detail when you the man like Dak Prescott is the man. I remind people, Dak Prescott signed for the second highest amount in NFL history. Y'all think they ain't looking out for Dak? They like, look, last year, cut short, premature because of injury. Obviously, that was an acute injury. This one looks like, as TJ said, either it's a wear and tear situation, a situation that, hey, Dak, let's make sure we're monitoring this properly, or come out to practice a little earlier to make sure we could get past this. But this is a minor blip. This is a situation where they're just being a little hypersensitive because of how much Dak means to this Dallas Cowboys football team.
Yeah, absolutely, Marcellus. I think this is a situation when you pay Dak what you paid him, you want to make sure that he is completely ready to go week one. And so any little minor injury, you want to put extra care and extra precaution to make sure that he's okay. And as TJ alluded to, Dak Prescott coming off that compound fracture, yes, he probably focused heavily, extensively on making sure that the legs were right, and he probably neglected the arms and the throwing and some of the other stuff. Some of this is going to happen because when you injure one part of your body, you typically overcompensate for the other. This is part of the natural progression of returning from injuries. They just want to make sure a small thing doesn't become a big thing down the line.
Right there.
Dak Prescott has a lot to prove, and everybody knows it. It's not just Dak. It's the Dallas Cowboys. It's Jerry Jones. It's the NFL. We've talked about this forever. Did Dak deserve 35 a year? Did he deserve 33 a year? Dak got way more than that, way more than we ever thought he would get. And so he feels the pressure to perform when the season starts. So when he feels a little twinge in his shoulder, okay, let me pause. Let me take a step back to make sure I'm healthy, because I know everybody expects a lot out of me. Not more than I expect of myself, but I got to bring it.
Look, TJ, I expect a lot out of you, too. I expect a little more furniture in that room, wherever the hell you are. I expect a different background, too. What? TJ, it's been a long time since we hung out. What is going on in that attic you in? What you doing?
Hey, if I turn this camera, this room is nice. You want me? Hey, nice.
It's nice. Hey. Just making you echo a little bit. I get it. It's nice. You got that Dak money.
It's my daughter's 21st birthday today. She just turned 21 today.
Okay. Happy birthday.
And so we out here at our house in Palm Springs just celebrating her birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we doing it like that. Oh, okay. It's still the off season, huh? Get him, Bucky.
Our house in Palm Springs. I like that. Not the house in L.A. We just drove to go a couple hours the Palm Springs up, the kicking for the daughter. I get that, TJ. But look, I think you make great points about Dak feeling the pressure in terms of how to improve. Anytime you get paid as a player, I don't care what anybody says, you feel like you have to justify and validate why you're getting the kind of money that you're getting. And I think when you pay a quarterback, particularly the Dallas Cowboys, the entire organization feels like they have to validate and justify why Dak Prescott is now in the $40 million club. So, yes, everyone in the organization is very sensitive to how Dak feels. They want to make sure that the franchise quarterback is right and ready to go when the season kicks off in week 1.
Now, let's be careful here. It's starting to sound like we're going down a lot to prove, Lane. Oh, the weight of the world is on your shoulders, Dak, because you got all that money when they pay you because of who you are and then who you will become. So Dak doesn't have to get outside of himself, his character, to live up to whatever this amount is. Let's talk about who he is. He's not injury prone. Let's just be real about that. He got hurt last year. This is not Carson Wentz we're talking about. We all know playing the game of football, it's a collision sport, 100% injury rate. So if you're Dak Prescott, let's be careful of saying, walking up to football players, so how you feeling right now? Because every single football player got something wrong. How many times did it get reported that there was something wrong with you? But in reality, it was just a precaution, maybe an extra precaution. They were just making sure we can have you ready for when we need you most. But a situation like this, Dak even said it. Jerry Jones said it. If he needed to be there today, he would have been there today.
For Dak Prescott, you know this because you've had multiple big contracts. So you know this all too well. When you get paid, you have a lot to prove from the standpoint of you want to justify why I got what I got. Why did they pay me what they paid me? And so just that pressure within itself to prove that I was worth what I signed for. It's simple.
It really is simple as that. It's about showing your worth. And Marcellus, I know you've had a couple of big contracts in the pocket, and maybe you didn't feel like you had to justify what it was and who you were once you got paid because the money was already deposited. Yeah. But I do feel most humans like to show people, hey, I am worth what you're paying me. My value is what you said it is. And I want to make sure that every day I show you that I am the $40 million quarterback. Maybe somewhere in Columbia, you didn't get that message. But I got that in North Carolina. I think TJ got that at Oregon State.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's not do this. Let's not confuse the audience out there. Like, you always got to live up to the money, even if it's low money. Like, my rookie contract, look, be real. That's the one you feel like you got to live up to the most because they drafted you and you trying to get that real money, so you better live up to that. You got to exceed those expectations. I get the mindset, but I also know there's a time to perform. You know, me and Acho, we love to talk track up here. You guys are familiar with the sport, obviously, running track. In the prelims ain't the time to flash it, dog. Like, I just qualify. Like, Dak Prescott right now, not even in the prelims. He in that side yard where you be warming up and looking like you're going to win every race because you're doing high knees and kickbacks. Like, everybody like, damn, he about to smoke it today. Like, you don't risk it in these moments. And that's all I want to make sure people understand. Oh, here goes Dak. He was hurt last year. He's hurt this year. The dominoes are starting to fall. No. We are not going to risk it because right now is not the time you go out there and make your money, and it's also not the time where you go out there and risk it all. Coming up, a quarterback controversy could be brewing in San Francisco. I tell you, if Trey Lance, oh my God, is taking Jimmy G's job. Is that realistic? That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Kyle Shanahan said last week that Jimmy GQ, is the Niners starter, and Trey Lance is number 2. But reports say the rookie has been aggressive at training camp, adding, quote, the notion that Lance could overtake Garoppolo early in the season, which seems so far-fetched on draft day, and after OTAs appears far more realistic today. Bucky and TJ are back. So, TJ, how realistic is Trey Lance taking Jimmy G's job?
Man, it's very realistic. And I say it's very realistic because when you start hearing these type of reports, you're getting these reports for a reason. They want us to hear this so that they can justify it, but they don't want to pay Jimmy G over $20 million to sit the bench. Like, if Jimmy G can't beat out a guy that made 17 college starts, he's in trouble. Think about this. it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of if. Jimmy G has played more than 6 games one time in his career. 6 games, more than one time. That's the year they went to the Super Bowl. So it's not a matter of when Trey Lance is going to be in the starting lineup. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because Jimmy G can't stay healthy. And so they're already planting the seeds right now. Let us know. Trey Lance will be your quarterback. We're just giving you guys a heads up. That's all.
Yeah, man, this is one of those takes. It's going to leave your mouth and you're just mad that you got to say it. But this is realistic. It's dumb as hell, but it's realistic because, one, we've been there before. Then reports start coming out because you know how the reporters work. I used to be the snitch on my team, so the reporters would sit there in front of everybody, get their sound bites. Then Jim Trotter called me up on the way home. So tell me the real, Wiley, and I tell him I ain't give a damn. I was like, I'm protected up here. As long as I'm balling, what they gonna do to me? So somebody up there telling the real because somebody up there knows that they're protected, and they're giving them the pure dope. Why do I know that this is realistic? Because you always got to follow the money. Follow the money, not just Jimmy G's contract, because everybody's like, well, then Jimmy G's going to start the entire year. No. Also follow the money in terms of what they invested in Trey Lance, how they moved up in the draft to get Trey Lance, how they leveraged the future, how this was kind of a chips all in move to go get Trey Lance. Because, as I remind people, outside of that Super Bowl year, you haven't seen a lot of winning in San Francisco, and not under Kyle Shanahan's watch. And the offense hasn't been productive as well outside of Jimmy G when he's healthy. So now there's a lot riding on this quarterback position, and more so not on Jimmy G in transition, but Trey Lance as the future in the present. So here's the problem. This is why I think it's realistic, but dumb. The only way you can justify a Trey Lance move this year would be, okay, we're going to improve. The only way this team's going to improve from the last time we saw Jimmy G healthy is to go out there and win the Super Bowl. Not appear in the Super Bowl, not have a lead in the fourth quarter of a Super Bowl, but to win the Super Bowl. So I think it's premature to put Trey Lance out there as a rookie. Let Jimmy G one more time go out there, hopefully finish the deal, and see if this team could go out there and win a Super Bowl. If not, then it's going to be an easy, clean break. Trey Lance, you won't be a rookie anymore. And Jimmy G, we love you, but we have reached the end of our destination together. That's how you do it. But it sounds like from these reporters who are getting that real dope, that it's going to happen a lot sooner than we expect.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to happen. Look, the clock was ticking on Jimmy Garoppolo's tenure when the 49ers handed in the card. When they say Trey Lance, quarterback from North Dakota State, Jimmy Garoppolo should have went on and called the realtor and said, I got to get up out of the Bay Area because my time is done here. Because when Kyle Shanahan made the move, he made it because Trey Lance gives him the best of both worlds. By that, I mean, he is able to run the normal offense that he's always run in San Francisco while now adding the element that he utilized in Washington when he had RG3, the quarterback run game. And so when you think about facing a San Francisco running game that has been dominant without a running option at quarterback, you now add a guy in Trey Lance who's 6'3", 230 pounds, physical runner, who doesn't need to run it like Lamar Jackson runs it, but just needs to give the threat of being able to run it like that. Oh, man, you talk about being able to change the numbers, change the equation on defense, give defensive coordinators nightmares, and really elevate this offense back to a level where they not only go to the Super Bowl, but they can win it.
The reason, if you guys think about this, the reason the 49ers are willing to give Jimmy Garoppolo, if you want to call it, a chance this year, when he's healthy, he's been very effective. 24-8 in his 32 starts. And so there's not many quarterbacks in the league that can say I've won 24 out of my first 32 starts. So he's been very effective when healthy. He just can't stay healthy, as I said earlier. He's played in more than 6 games one time in his career. You can't have that as a quarterback. You're not available. You're not reliable. We can't count on you. And so with Shanahan, Trey Lance, with that athleticism, he's sitting here like, oh, my God, I can do so much with this guy. And now he's gaining the trust of his teammates in training camp. It's a matter of if Jimmy G, if you don't even if you just play bad they're going to start throwing plays and, okay, Trey, go ahead and get this series. And then before long, that's it. You're out of here.
That is true, though. You know how that goes. It's almost like those times where we've all been on the field and we're on the sideline and it's our time to go get our rep. And the coach puts his hand across the chest like, ho, I like this rotation. Let me just see what my man got. That is what my man is about to do to Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is about to run onto the field.
That happened to me.
That's what's about to happen. He's about to figure out the rotation is not going to be the same as it always has been.
Hold on, TJ, got to hear that story. What happened?
I was in Seattle. When Pete Carroll was there.
Yeah.
No lie. I was running in the game. They was like, nah, Mike, he want to keep Mike Williams in. Mike Williams, a big Mike Williams that played at SC, that got drafted to the Detroit Lions. I never forget. I was like, oh, man, I'm going to take off on Pete Carroll, man. What's wrong with this dude?
Hey, that's how it goes. Every D lineman knows that. Like, when you're in there, you know, you're in rotation, coach be like, yeah, let him stay this third down. Let him get this third down. You're like, what you mean let him get this third down? He get the money down. Not at all. You guys led me to some interesting places because – one, when you think about the draft and what happens underneath the top surface in the draft, it happened to me. It happens to many guys. It's happening right now with Trey Lance and Jimmy G. Jimmy G signed a 5-year, $137.5 million contract. Became the highest paid player in NFL history at the time, despite only having 7 starts. We all remember it. Okay. Now, when all of a sudden you fast forward to this year, as you said, TJ, Jimmy G, base salary is $24.1 million. Y'all want to know what his dead cap is? Which means if we let you go, what's the hit? $2.8 million. Okay, you know what it is next year? $1.4 million. Hey, they looking at him like, okay, let's get these stories out there right now, see how this fan base is going to receive Trey Lance, particularly early in potential if it happens. And you already talk about the draft. Bruce Smith was sitting there, and I remember reading this article when I got drafted to Buffalo. It took me 3 years to get my opportunity to get my starting job from Bruce Smith. They had to release him. But 3 years, and I'm a second rounder who wasn't even playing that well. But it took me 3 years. Whatever. Then I get my opportunity. That same year I get my chance, they draft in the first round a guy by the name of Eric Flowers at my position. 1 year. So you see, 3 years, a guy who's not even playing that well, me. 1 year, Eric Flowers sitting there, not doing so well. What about Trey Lance, who's doing amazing, being aggressive in practice right now? Oh, Jimmy G can't stay healthy. Oh, this team is a Super Bowl ready team. All it needs is a quarterback. That's how they play it in narrative. So here's the question to both of you guys. Is it smart to switch to Trey Lance if he's ready?
Absolutely. This is smart because we've seen it, and I'm not going to continue to compare Trey Lance to Lamar Jackson, but we saw how difficult it has been for teams to deal with the Baltimore Ravens running game. When you think about the running game that the 49ers have had with Kyle Shanahan, they've had success at every turn. Now you add in a mobile quarterback that can do it under center and from gun. Oh, man. Defensive coordinators' heads are going to spin. And so from an offensive perspective, to me, it's better if they go ahead and put Trey Lance in. He gives them more bang for the buck, and he's a more dangerous playmaker at the quarterback position.
Smart as if I went to Columbia. Smart, yeah. He brings a dynamic that they just don't have. And he's only had 17 college starts. Yeah, if you can feel like he can give you a dynamic that teams got to prepare for that. I mean, Trey Lance isn't Lamar Jackson, but he's big, he's athletic, and it's just something that go back to RG3 when the Shanahans had him in Washington. Rookie of the year was never the same after the Shanahans left. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Let me push back on this because, look, he made 1 start last year. Then you're going back to 17 total starts. So let's just say the guy a little rusty. It's okay to be rusty, but not in the NFL. Like, your first start in the NFL is going to be coming off of basically 2 years where you only start at 17 total games. I'm not so certain about that when you have seen starting quarterbacks their first year, good players, as good as a Trey Lance, struggle. Let's talk about Josh Allen his first year. Anybody? Y'all want to go there? And then look at Josh Allen now. But the first year, do y'all really want him to take these lumps? on a Super Bowl ready team.
Look at Justin Herbert.
Hey, don't you do that now. Don't you do that now. I got a list of bad guys first. Let me go through them. And they didn't win in L.A. I love my Chargers. I'll be there, season ticket holder. He put up numbers. Now, if you get that type of performance on a Super Bowl-ready team that stays healthy, I'm with you, TJ. But Sam Darnold disagrees with you. Mitchell Trubisky disagrees with you. Carson Wentz, rookie year, disagrees with you. Jared Goff disagrees with you. So it sounds like a crapshoot. You got a Justin Herbert out there. You got a Baker Mayfield his first year. But then, what if this doesn't work out? What if you're going mid-season, you're like, Trey Lance has potential, has talent. The game is just going too fast for him. He hasn't played but 17 games in 2 years. And then you got Jimmy G sitting there making that $24 million base salary, and he's a Super Bowl appearing quarterback. What would make sense with that as a mindset in terms of scenario, TJ, if you were to be the head coach like Kyle Shanahan?
You know what will tell me if he's ready or not? These preseason games. He's going to get out there, and they're going to give him a ton of run in the preseason games. He's going to play the majority of the downs because of what you just said. Is he ready to play?
But TJ, those guys are going to work at FedEx in 2 weeks. That's not the real world.
That's just justification, though. They just want to show.
True.
They just want him to show that he can handle it. That's all they want. Show us you can handle it. That those 17 starts, it's not that much of a big deal. That you've adjusted to the game and the speed of the NFL. If he can show he can do that, he's in there. And we both know. We know that. He's in there. If he can show in the preseason, he got it.
Damn.
Yeah, it absolutely is all about the preseason performance. If he shows flashes where he is able to make a couple plays as a runner and as a thrower, he absolutely is going to take the position. This is one where Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they can get a jump start on the clock. Because remember, Super Bowl teams are best built when they have a quarterback on the rookie deal. If you can get that guy playing and playing well in year one, man, it extends the window for your Super Bowl team. The time is now. If Trey Lance shows anything, it is time for him to be the quarterback for the Niners.
Damn, if I'm Jimmy G, I'm hot 100 right now. One play away a couple years ago from winning the Super Bowl, had a lead with the number 2 defense. They couldn't hold up their end of the bargain. Now they're going to blame me. I keep getting hurt. And now I guess if you really want to make some lemonade of this, y'all going to pay me $24 million to help the little rookie out? Hey, I ain't mad at it. At least I won't get hurt this year. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers says he's all in with the Packers. But I'll tell you if I'm buying it. That's next. Don't speak for yourself.
Dirty game out there, Jimmy.
Back to Green Bay, where Aaron Rodgers got a lot off his chest last week, including his desire to play a role in personnel decisions. The reigning MVP's future with the team was in doubt for a few months. But for now, all of his focus appears to be with the Packers. Take a listen.
I mean, it's the best feeling. It was a little strange, I think, day one, just because I was gone for the entire offseason and contemplated my own future and the possibility of playing somewhere else as well. But when I'm back here, I'm 100% all in.
So, Bucky, are you buying Aaron Rodgers this all in with the Packers?
No. Aaron Rodgers is not all in. The way Aaron Rodgers is talking, when I'm here, I'm 100% in. But when I'm away, I want to go somewhere else. That doesn't make for a good relationship. You can't do that when you step outside the walls and say that I'm good. No, that just doesn't work. And so for me, I don't know what this entire offseason thing was about because he didn't get any of the stuff that he wanted. And if you're going to tell me that all of this was about Randall Cobb, no disrespect to Randall Cobb, but Randall Cobb, that's what we did this for? I'm just saying, to me, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I would want more. I just feel like he took us through this entire soap opera for nothing.
I'm with you, Bucky. Trade me. I'm going to retire. Fire the dude upstairs. I'm not going to say his name. Somebody in this organization that's ruining this culture. No, it's not about money. And then all the Green Bay Packers did was sit there, wait, and say, here's Randall Cobb. Really? And that's why you happy, Aaron Rodgers? That's why you came back? It doesn't make any sense. That said, I think he is all in. And I'm going to tell you why. Because every single athlete I've ever met, has the greatest ability to compartmentalize. And you can laugh at it, Bucky. It doesn't work in real-world relationships. You're right. Because when the cat's away, the mice will play. That can't work in pro sports. It works in life like that for some guys. But in pro sports, wherever you are, there you are. And Aaron Rodgers knows I'm playing football. First and foremost, I remember when Andrew Bynum was getting traded from the Lakers, and reporter after reporter was like, oh, poor Andrew Bynum, you got to leave the Lakers. How you feel? He was like, there's a bank in every city. That basically means I am playing a game. I have a service. I know how to play this game. And that service could be anywhere in terms of locale. So let's not act like Aaron Rodgers, if he has to go back to Green Bay, which he did, that he can't play the game as hard as he did for the Green Bay Packers. And I remind you, last year, MVP performance from Aaron Rodgers. But was Aaron Rodgers happy totally? Like, all of these issues just didn't come in year 16 out of nowhere. It was a slow grind, a slow buildup that finally met his head. So if Aaron Rodgers made an MVP campaign last year, despite not being fully happy, fully satisfied, oh, he's all in, and that's just how Aaron Rodgers rolls.
So, Bucky, what you're saying is Aaron Rodgers, when he with his wife, I'm married. But when I step out the house, I'm not married no more. I'm married with you, baby, but I'm not married when I'm.
That's what Aaron Rodgers out there doing. He out there pulling player moves. That's what he's out there doing.
But I'm with you, Marcellus, is when you get in that building, especially as a quarterback, you got to be all in.
Yeah.
And if you're not, they're going to see right through that. They're going to see right through that. And guys are going to start calling you out about it. I don't care if you Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, they're going to start talking behind your back. He just here. He don't really want to be here. So he has to be all in. And I'm with you. When you contemplate leaving and you really wanted to leave, how can you be all in? Aaron Rodgers wants to prove a point to the Green Bay Packers. He just did it this previous season by winning the MVP. Your big dummies went out and wasted a first-round pick on Jordan Love. I'm going to show you again why you're even a bigger dummy. And that's why he's all in, because he has a point to prove, But I'm with you, though. Like, you get a concession. You take off the year 23 on your contract. You were going to be gone anyway. It's your only concession, and I hate to do this because he can play, but he's getting a little longer in the tooth. That's Bucky would probably like Randall Cobb. Like, you did all of this, and all you received was Randall Cobb. Like, you got to get more from him. You lose your center at Corey Lindsey, which I think is a big loss. That's a huge loss. Your starting center is gone. He should be concerned about that more than anything, that pressure in his face. But I believe he's all in because he wants to prove that, once again, they did something dumb by trading up to draft Jordan Love. Simple.
Look, I believe what you're talking about is it's personal. It's personal. And we've all been in these situations where the team kind of smudges us by bringing somebody else in. We're like, why you bring that guy in? I can do this. What are we doing? And so it's personal in the way that you go about your practice and the way that you play. But to me, I still find it troubling. Aaron Rodgers did this song and dance up until the eve of training camp. I wonder with players as they're looking around and he's standing up like, hey, guys, it's the team. It's we over me. It's us. We got to do this. We got to do that. And then I wonder if they're like, are you really about the team or are you just speaking French up there with all these we's? Because you haven't done anything that is really about the team. And I just don't know, man. I think it's a story that is growing old in Green Bay. Maybe not necessarily in the locker room, but everyone outside of the locker room. Because now that Aaron has asked and maybe got some of these concessions, now we can begin to look at him and wonder, hey, you're 1-4 in championship games. You have talked about the team not being able to get to the Super Bowl. But when I look at Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's playing with a bag of nuts, he's able to get his team to the Super Bowl. What is wrong with you when you've been the guy that people are talking about potentially being the GOAT? At some point, it has to come to him, and he has to show us that he is what we've said that he could be at some point. He just has to do it.
Damn, Bucky. You broke that down so much, you made me want to change my take. I don't know if he could be all in.
Come on this side.
Man, you know what's funny? I had to catch myself because I was up here in this suit being an analyst and a host and forgot that I've been on that field before. And when it's personal, you ain't all in. Let me just give you this story. I don't know if it's true that it's going to match perfectly with Aaron Rodgers, but damn, this is real. Okay, so my first 4 years, you know when you're just trying to get on the field, you play any position. I know TJ like X, Y, Z, it don't matter. I'm like, I play left end, right end, it didn't matter. Okay, so my first 4 years, I had to play left and right end. But then when I went to San Diego, I'm the man. I said I'm playing left end and left end only, partly because the tackles on the other side weren't good at the right time, right?
The right
I ain't
tackle.
stupid. So I'm like, yeah, and I'm killing it. I get to Dallas. Now I'm coming down the hill, and Bill Parcells is like, yeah, Marcellus, when you get here, you can play left end, all good. Jerry Jones, you can play left end, all good. You still the man. I get there, first few practices, Greg Ellis, beast, my dog. Greg Ellis was like, hey, man, I got to get some of that left, Wiley. And I was like, nah, B, I got the left. And all of a sudden it got personal because Parcells was like, let Greg get some of that left. I said, man, you told me it's all me. So then all of a sudden I got my feelings. So now I'm switching sides. I'm playing on the right side. Flozell Adams is dragging me every practice. Gave me a hip pointer in training camp I'd never recover from. And I'm personal and pissed at Parcells and Greg because I'm like, man, they got me out here doing something I didn't want to do. I wonder how much of that story, TJ, you would say is going to leak out if you're Aaron Rodgers. You wanted A, B, C, and you ended up with nothing but Z. I wonder if he could be all in knowing he didn't get all he wanted.
It's almost impossible to get all you. That center is important. They used to, when we played, the center position was so devalued. And they started to realize they're making all these calls. They're keeping that pressure up the middle to a minimum. He had to feel like he won some of this battle. Bucky, no, and nobody's ever catching up to Tom Brady. They can compare Aaron. Nobody's catching up to him. I don't think we'll ever see a quarterback win as many Super Bowls and be as successful as Tom Brady was with the Patriots in one organization. I don't think we'll ever see that. But when it's personal, you have a point to prove. He's all in because he wants to prove a point of what I just said. You guys were so dumb. Like, y'all thought I was going down the hill. I'm not going down this hill, and I'm going to prove it to you again. I just proved it to you last year by winning MVP. I'm going to prove it to you again. And so when it's personal, can you be all in? Maybe, maybe not. But when you have a point to prove, you're going to give it all that you have to give because you want to show them that they made a big mistake.
I give you that. You're going to be more driven because it is personal. But can he see through the emotional haze? Like when it's personal, man, your feelings be in the way before you get to that performance. But as you said, last year, nothing got in the way of Aaron Rodgers except that other team with the quarterback that's just greater than him. Coming up, is there more pressure on Russell Westbrook or LeBron to bring a title to the Lakers next season? That's an interesting question. I'll answer that next. Don't speak for yourself. Lakers swung for the fences, bringing Russell Westbrook back to L.A. in a multiplayer deal, according to reports. Russ is a former MVP, but he has never won a title. His new teammate LeBron James, has 4 rings, but his squad was recently bounced in the first round. And he is 36 years old. But they are the play-in champions. I'm joined by Fox NBA analyst Slick Rick Dubuquer. So, Slick, who has more pressure to win the title next season, Westbrook or Bron?
No question, it's Russ Westbrook because he doesn't have one. And at 36 years old, LeBron James has demonstrated everywhere he's gone, he can make it work, and he has delivered a title. Did it for Miami, did it for Cleveland, and has done it for the Lakers. Russ Westbrook, meanwhile, has been hop, skipping, and jumping around the league looking to make it work. Couldn't ultimately make it work with KD and Harden. Couldn't make it happen with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. Couldn't make it work with Bradley Beal, at least to the point where the expectation wasn't there. But it seems to me like Bradley Beal really doesn't have a problem with Russ Westbrook leaving town. It's not as if he said, well, if he's out, I'm out. And in fact, quite the opposite. So when I look at where the pressure is, look, LeBron James has given us everything you could expect. And at 36 years old, I don't know about you, Marcellus, but I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't win another title. And meanwhile, Westbrook is in that Chris Paul category of still needs that title to differentiate himself from all those Hall of Fame great players who, for one reason or another, weren't able to bring it home and win a title.
Yeah, and that's why there's more pressure on LeBron. A lot of your ammunition you used to say it was Russell Westbrook actually supports LeBron James as well. Let me add to it. Let me start here. Who's the face of the NBA? LeBron James. So all those other rings that you have on your hand are cute. But let's finish that hand off and get that fifth ring because you're LeBron James. And that same pressure for LeBron James to go get that fifth ring is why there's a Russell Westbrook on the Lakers right now. Would they swing for the fences if there wasn't pressure already existing in La La Land? Because they know that they need another ring. You got Anthony Davis, despite his check engine light always being on, when he is healthy, my man can ball. LeBron, how much toothpaste is left in that tube? You're 36, we get it. But you know what? We got to win and win right now. Pressure's on LeBron, the status quo. Now let's add to it. Why would the pressure be on Russell Westbrook? He is not a loser, y'all, but he also is not a champion. So in that respect, a guy who's been on 4 teams in 4 years, he's out there searching for an opportunity to get a championship run. Well, the pressure's not on him because everywhere he's gone, he's failed in that same quest for getting a championship. So the pressure is where he landed. L.A., Lakers, LeBron James.
Yeah, look, if it was a matter of who the pressure is on to make this work, I might go with you on LeBron James because he recruited Russell Westbrook. Yeah. But Westbrook is the guy who agreed to come out to the house and was basically interviewing for the job. There was a bunch of other guys, the Buddy Hields, the DeMar DeRozans, and Marcellus, you know how this works. It doesn't matter what the truth is in terms of whether LeBron James wins a championship or not, and why he did or didn't win the championship. We know how this works. When they win the championship, it's LeBron's. And when they don't win a championship, it's because the other guys just weren't good enough. And so that's where the pressure is on Westbrook, that if he's going to take advantage of this opportunity to come home to LA, to play. Look, LeBron and AD have already demonstrated that they're champions. LeBron has demonstrated that 4 times over. So I just don't see where the pressure if we're talking this next season to make this work and to get a ring. If LeBron James doesn't get a ring next season, he's all right. If Russell Westbrook doesn't get a ring, this is the 4th team where he's played with at least 1, if not 2 other superstars and wasn't able to get it done, which shifts those crosshairs back onto Russell Westbrook as the common denominator of guys who ultimately couldn't get it done.
Oh, Slick, don't do this, man. I could tell by your take that you forgot where you came from. Let's go back to high school. You remember high school days? You got your Letterman jacket on your senior year, got all your patches on. Russell Westbrook got a bomb Letterman jacket, but nobody's Letterman jacket looks like LeBron James's in the schoolyard, right? So all of a sudden, LeBron James decides that, hey, man, need a new teammate. Or let's take it back to the days where I wore my Letterman jacket for a reason, because I wanted to impress the girls. So Russell Westbrook's reputation precedes him. Everybody in the school knows Russell Westbrook fine, but. Oh, she fine, but. Here's the buts. He a ball hog. Oh, it's all right. I still like him. He's good. He could help me win. Nah, he can't shoot. Nah, it's fine. She's still fine, but. Oh, man, he maniacal, man. He go crazy when he go crazy. And LeBron still wants to boo up Russell Westbrook. And you trying to act like the pressure's on Westbrook? The pressure's on LeBron to make that relationship happen. So it's going to be crazy. CP3 came that close at 36 years old. Russell ain't too young his damn self, 33 years old. So this is a relationship that if it's going to work, it's on LeBron, and he's going to feel that pressure. Coming up, Kawhi Leonard is expected to run it back for my squad. That's right. I tell you, if a healthy Clippers team are the title favorites, and I'm going to tell you yes. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. But at least I'll have some ammunition. Kawhi Leonard declined his $36 million player option, according to reports. and will be a free agent, but not for long. But he's expected to re-sign a new deal with my Clippers for potentially 4 years. Don't forget, Kawhi has surgery on his partially torn right ACL and is expected to miss significant time. So, Slick, should a healthy Clippers team be title favorites next year?
I just want all of our viewers to understand that this is the power of Marcellus Wiley on this show, because I don't even know we'd be asking this question if you weren't the host, okay? Because the answer is no. You and I align on a lot of things when it comes to the Clippers and have in the past, but on this one, no. First of all, the Milwaukee Bucks right now, as the reigning champs and the ability to run it back with their core intact, they have to be the favorites. And then when it comes to the Clippers, I need to know not only is Kawhi Leonard re-upping, but is Nick Batum, is Reggie Jackson, because I do believe that they have the capacity to win the West and maybe even potentially win it all. But I need to know that all hands are on deck in order for them to do that, and I don't know that right now.
You saved me no time. You nervous? That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. I think we're going to be favorites, though.